conversation about all the close wins that you guys kind of never necessarily blow anybody out, but the other side of that is nobody's blown you out. There's not been a game yet that you haven't come down to the last 2 minutes with a chance to win. Do you think there's some positive on both ends of that you guys kind of are always in these games, and come tournament time you guys will know what all these close games feel like?
Well, of course we would prefer them to all be 20, 30 point blowouts. It makes the bench a lot more comfortable. But no, it does, especially for the young guys. We've got a veteran group of guys who've been through it, know how to handle it, and they've been carrying us through a lot of these situations. And it's good to see the freshmen get the much needed experience, because once you get late in the season, the race for conference regular season champion is going on, so that you're playing for something this time of the year. You get in the conference tournament, obviously means something, and then when you get to the NCAA tournament, then you're talking about a true one and done scenario. So being in these close games is definitely a benefit, especially to our younger guys.
What do you think is the thing that this team is best at, or has learned the most about itself in this just never-ending string of close games?
Well, we're tough and we're resilient. We've got a don't give up, refuse to lose type attitude, and that is a positive thing. If we lose, it's just because we ran out of time, not because we let go of the rope. And that is it's something that's hard to develop, but it's a positive when you see your team has that innately. So it's a good thing for us.
Tony, you guys have shot much better on the road than at home the last 4 or 5 weeks. What, if anything, does that mean?
You got an answer for me? Because I don't have one. I mean, we probably spend as much time in our opponent's building as we do in our own, so that's not a factor. So who knows what it is? But we've got fantastic shooters, and I think in the few home games we have remaining, hopefully we'll start to shoot a lot better.
Is there a lot of debate about practicing in a different facility than when you actually play the games? Would you prefer to have more practice at Rupp?
I don't think it matters. When you look at Cal's win-loss record over the course of 10 years, hard to argue about the success in that arena. So I don't think, the rims are 10 foot, the court's the same length, the basketball has the same amount of air in it. You've got to, no matter the background, you've got to be able to get results at the end of the day. We're getting them on the road, we got to figure out a way to get them at home.
I've heard some players say that Rupp is the size of it, and the basket is kind of out there in the middle of an open space, and that's not ideal. As a shooter, from your
exactly, I was a shooter, and when I hear those arguments from our guys, I say that's the arguments of non-shooters. Everywhere we played, somebody's got a different ball. There's a Nike ball here, or it's an Under Armour ball here. There's an Adidas ball here. It's a Wilson ball there. The nets might be different, tighter, looser. The rims of a different color, orange. You either can shoot the ball, or you can't. Doesn't matter the background.
Cal has said on many times this year that you are what your stats say you are. Ashton's stats are kind of less than stellar. How do you reconcile his play and his stats?
What are those stats? Because I don't know them all.
Recently, the last 7 games, he's shooting 39%. He's turning the ball over at a pretty high rate. I mean, obviously he's still defending and all that stuff, energy, but offensively, I think it's pretty dramatic dip here in these last month.
Well, the only thing I'll say is we wouldn't trade Ashton for another point guard in the country, because the results of the team are the ones that matter, and you're going to have ebbs and flows as an individual through the course of a season. That's just human nature. So we expect Ashton to get back on the upswing here pretty soon on the offensive end of the floor, because he's gifted on that end too, just like he is defensively.
How do you think the last 6 games you've held the opponent to either 40% shooting or below? I think it was 5 straight below 40 until Saturday. Are you happy with the defense right now? Yeah,
I think our defense is evolving and coming along. Again, our veteran players have carried us on that end of the floor, as our younger guys have caught up with the intensity, the speed, the scheming at this level that you have to have, and then have 5 guys working as one on the floor. And so I think we're happy where our defense has progressed, but like every aspect of our team, we've still got some ways to go to be the best we can be.
Talking about 5 guys working together on the floor, so you mean like help defense and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
How much improvement have you seen in that area, especially when you basically got the same core of 7 or 8 players who play together? How much does that help in that regard?
It's been a ton. You see the symmetry and the chemistry coming along on the defensive end of the floor. These guys are connected, and we're communicating better. It's a big part of defense, and it's always a struggle to get the young guys to understand what communication is. Communication is two ways. It's not just one guy saying do this. It's two guys communicating something that they're seeing. We're working on anticipating. We're working on seeing ahead, because if you see ahead, then you're able to communicate what you see. So it's a lot of these different things that the younger kids don't know and struggle with coming in the door. This group of younger guys has learned and taken it on, and so now you put those two together, the veteran group with the younger group picking it up, we're becoming a pretty special defensive team.
As a staff that's tried to pull winning habits out of E.J. Montgomery, how much sort of satisfaction is there to see him rip a rebound away from another guy, end up on his back, make a super heads-up play to get that ball back to Tyrese?
It happened twice in the game. I think we all teased him that he had a trip. It couldn't have been
that he ended up on his back?
Yeah, that he ended up on his back, and he dove for a couple loose balls, but he had to get tripped. It couldn't have been him just getting after it. No, it's EJ evolving as a player. And it's, you know, I keep saying it every time I come out here and we talk about a guy saying EJ, we've had a lot of atypical freshmen here. And EJ's no different than just normal freshmen from around the country, that it's taken him a little bit longer in the process to get it. But is there anything wrong with that? Is there anything wrong with it? PJ Washington, Willie Cauley-Stein. You can do both here. You can be one and done and out the door, or you can come here and develop and take your time. You can do both. It's on your timetable, not on ours. And EJ's, it's neat to see him starting to see some of the fruits of his hard work and the success and the praise, because we don't win that game the other night if it's not for EJ.
Tony, LSU has hit a little bit of a rough spot here lately. Do you guys kind of anticipate them being a little bit of a wounded animal, so to speak? And
I wouldn't say. I mean, yeah, they're 3-5 and or 2-5 in their last 5, but I think you look at the conference and the parity in the conference, and any given night, there's not a lot of separation. Anybody can beat anybody on any end of the floor, and it's not like, all right, they're 2-5 and the 3 losses, they've lost by 35 each. That's not what happened. They've been in a lot of close games all year long in the conference. They've won their fair share, obviously. And it's naturally it's going to go the other way against you a couple of times, but they're a fantastic team, and we know what a challenge it is going on the road, especially to a place like Baton Rouge, like the arena there down at LSU.
I think Ken Palm has them like number 3 in offensive efficiency. What makes them good on offense?
I mean, not really. I mean, they've got 5 guys that are starting that are averaging, not just averaging, just 10 points. I mean, they're averaging significant double figures. They're a fantastic rebounding team on the offensive end of the floor. They have traditionally been, since Will's been there, they'll shoot it and then they go get it. They shoot the 3, they drive the ball. They got a couple guys that can post up. Wofford's a matchup problem at the 3. So it's the reason why they're a fantastic offensive team, because they've got a lot of interchangeable parts that can do a lot of different things.
Tony, how much is just generically, how much is basketball a mental game? How much does the mental aspect of basketball come into play for a player or a team?
It's huge. It's 90-10, mental to physical. I mean, obviously you got to be in great condition and you got to be strong and all those things. That's a given, but it's the mental strength, especially this time of the year. Season's starting to get a little long in the tooth. The dog days of conference play is winding down. Everybody's could be looking ahead to the postseason, but it's those teams that can stay in the moment the best, and the coaches that can keep their teams in the moment. And you know, again, I've been around for Cal as long as anybody, and there's no coach that does it as good as him, is keeping his team present right now, not worrying about what happened before. Who cares what's coming up next weekend? That does not matter. The only thing that matters is today's practice and us getting better and focusing on us and getting ready to play a terrific team in LSU.
Anything else, guys?
What sort of things can throw off a guy's mental balance?
Fatigue. It's on the, you know, it's whether it's the course of a long season or in the course of a hard practice or the course of a game. Fatigue, as they say, makes cowards of everybody, and it's really the fatigue that you get lazy mentally. And so that's probably the biggest challenge this time of the year, is if you can keep your team energized and together and connected, and they're, you know, you're tired of seeing the players are tired of seeing you, they're tired of seeing each other, they're tired of flying on the planes together. But if you can keep your teams excited about each other, and Cal's done that as good as anybody since I've been with him, which is a long time.
I know Cal likes to, by the end of the year, cut back on practice. Has he been doing that?
Oh yeah, yeah. Once you see the guys start to get it, there's no need to keep them out there 4 hours on end. This is a group that's starting to get it. They're holding each other accountable. Like Cal saying, it's becoming a player-driven team that if somebody's not carrying his weight, the first voice you hear is not the coach. It's the players that are saying to their teammate, look, you got to carry your load. And so it's neat to see that come together. And I keep beating a dead horse, but Cal's as good as any in doing that year in and year out. We all get worried about a loss here, a loss there early, but you see it over and over again. Late December, early January, his teams connect, cohesive, come together, and then take off. And then what happens down the stretch here, we'll see.
It seems like it's kind of snuck up on you, but all of a sudden you look up and you're leading the conference. How does that mentality now play into how your coaches address a team and approach this game?
Again, it goes back to not looking in the past because you can't change it. No sense in looking forward because you can't do anything about it. The biggest thing we've got to do is keep this team present in the moment. That's today's focus on today's practice and then focus on the preparation for LSU tomorrow. That's the only thing you can control.
All right, guys. Thanks.
All right, thanks, guys.